Welcome to the show. Hello, Angelika.
Hallo Steven, wie geht es dir?
Ich geht gut, danke.
Es geht mir gut.
Es geht mir gut, danke. Okay, you caught me on the hop there. I mean, I wasn't expecting. I know I've got things to do later in the show, but I thought never mind. To anyone who's watching the replay, welcome. This is 25 minutes, all about learning German. This is Ask Angelika, Season 2, Episode 17. All the videos are on YouTube or on the Angelika's German tuition and translation page. So you can go and watch the replays at any time and learn German. And we take a topic each week, well, each fortnight, really. And our first topic of the day is the quartz garden. Would you like to talk about the quartz garden, and then we'll take it from there?
Okay, well, first of all, you can not just only watch it on YouTube, you can also listen to it in all the podcast stations. But yes, the quartz garden is one of our favorite haunts. Can I say that? I think
haunts is good, yeah.
Yeah, I think we like going there, although it is a National Trust place, so if anybody wanted to go there, you either have to pay or you have to be a member of the National Trust. But that's what we were talking about today, and I'd like us to go straight into the sentences. So yes, you can relax afterwards.
We talked about this before, and we got a running order, which is good. Now, what happens is Angelika has put together some German sentences. I'm going to attempt to read them. Angelika will correct me, and then we'll translate them together if you want to join in. And if you're not watching on the Be Live in 5 page, you'll find a link in the post above, so you can come and watch us on the correct page and comment. So, my starter for 10 is phrase number 1. I'm going to say the first bit's good. The Kurzgarten ist ein englischer Landschaftsgarten in Holt.
Yeah, well, you did really well with the first 3 words, the Kurzgarten, which of course...
Yeah, I know. Because the actual name place, irrespective of language, stays the same, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, I mean, sometimes they translate things, but generally speaking, if a German person came to Wiltshire and said to somebody, where's the Kurzgarten, and translated the Kurzgarten into another language, people wouldn't know where to send them to. So that makes sense to keep it as is. So the Kurzgarten ist ein englischer Landschaftsgarten in Holt.
Right, let's take the easy bits first then as we translate this. The Kurzgarten is an English in Holt. Now, what? Garten is in the word, but was bedeutet Landschaft?
Well, Landschaft normally on its own is sort of the countryside.
But when you put it with garden?
It's a sort of a country garden. Country garden really is something, I think, it's really typical English. And the Germans have translated it as Landschaftsgarten. So that's what it is.
The English translation of that phrase is the Kurzgarten is an English country garden in Holt, and it's about 20 minutes from where we are.
Exactly.
And we coordinated today. I've got a purple surround, just in honor of your purple top. Right. Okay, phrase number 2. Holt liegt in der Nähe von Bradford on Avon, because that's English town, in Wiltshire, England.
Yeah, you corrected yourself there. Well done. Holt, of course, again, it's the name that would stay the same. Can't just change the name. Liegt, unless it's a really famous place. I mean, London is London, but Holt is Holt. Liegt in der Nähe von Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire, England.
Right. So in der Nähe is near. So Holt lies near to Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire, England.
Yeah.
And the official translation is Holt is near Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire, England. So
yes, we wouldn't say lies. In German, I could have also said Holt ist in der Nähe von Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire. That would have been the literal translation then. But we tend to use that it lies when we're talking about where places are.
Gotcha. Phrase 3, and this is my first set of numbers. Seit 1943 gehört der Garten zum National Trust.
Yeah, well done. Seit 1943 gehört der Garten zum National Trust.
Right, so since 1943, the garden has been run or it belonged to the National Trust?
Yeah, gehören is belonging, so it belongs to the National Trust.
Since 1943, the garden belongs to the National Trust. Right. Because before it was. Are you going to say what it was before?
No.
Right.
Well, I guess the next bit. No, I haven't said who it belonged to or anything.
Well, I don't know the exact names, but it was a mill, wasn't it? It was an industrial site before it was taken over, possibly. Anyway, phrase 4. Es gibt ein Haus aus dem 18. Jahrhundert, das Privateigentum ist.
This is the tricky bit with compound nouns. Where do you put the break in? It's Privateigentum.
Ah, right, okay. Privateigentum.
Privateigentum, okay. Yeah.
And
the
whole
privat
sentence?
with the E, that would have been a private then. That would have been English.
It would, yeah. But
So-
I did, yeah.
Yeah, go on. But otherwise, it was fine. Es gibt ein Haus aus dem 18. Jahrhundert, so well done for that one, das Privateigentum ist.
There's an 18th century house and a private garden.
Well, it's private property.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because if you remember the signs, I think especially at the beginning when you get into the garden, there's a sign, please respect the privacy of the people living there.
Yeah, because the house is still occupied, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an 18th century house which is private property. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, phrase 5 then. And this is a good one. Aber eine kleine Teestube.
Ja, aber es hat eine kleine Teestube.
But it has a small tea Stube. What's a Stube?
It's just another word for room.
Ah, you could say Terrassen.
No, we don't tend to. Raum usually it sort of assumes more like a bigger one. Now, in your own house, like we in our house, we talk about Zimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Wohnzimmer, Schlafzimmer, Esszimmer, and all that. And Stube, in that respect, is more like an old-fashioned word. Now, in the olden days, people in German houses very often had die gute Stube, which I think you probably used to have as well in England or in the UK, sort of the room for best.
Best room.
Yeah, which was the living room, which nobody ever went in unless there were visitors or important visitors. Everything else happened in the kitchen. And there we always said die gute Stube, so the good room. Yeah, it wasn't heated, it wasn't cleaned and anything else. Nobody touched it until visitors were expected. And so the word Stube has been around, but for things like this, we do still use it.
Okay. Understood. So the translation of that, which we've almost done, is, but it has a little tea room, which we visited.
We have, yes.
It's very nice.
And it is quite small, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit compacted. There is not much space. So you're better off if there's enough time, if the weather is nice enough, you're probably better off sitting outside.
And they sell ice cream too, which is always a good thing.
They do, yes.
In fact, if you do visit the Quartz Garden, then across the road, because we locals, we know these things, is quite a good cafe. And if the sun is shining, you can sit outside.
Yes, and they've got lots of spaces. And that actually is also where the car park is, because the Quartz car park is not right next to the Quartz as you would expect. They don't really have their own car park.
No. but the car park is just across the road, isn't it? Right, if you are watching us, thank you. We can't see any comments and we can't see anybody watching. We could well just be recording this for posterity to go onto YouTube and to go as a podcast as well, and to go on the radio. But if you are watching, thank you, and we'll see you later, we hope. Phrase 6, in Garten gibt es.
Yeah, I've got a list of things, so I thought we list them all separately rather than have sort of botched up sentences. So that's the start of the sentence. Im Garten gibt es.
In the garden there are.
Yeah, it could have been there is without knowing what it is, but because I just told you it's a list of things, it makes sense to saying there are.
Okay, so we're going to go through.
It could have been either.
I'm going to go through a few of the things.
Yeah.
And we've got somebody watching. Hello and welcome. Phrase 7 is Terrassen.
Yeah, Terrassen.
I'm going to take a flyer here, even though I've got the translation in front of me, and say that stands for terraces.
Yes. It could also stand for patios, but I think patios is privately what you may have behind your in your back garden. I don't think I would have called those in the garden there patios.
No,
maybe
but
you can use either.
They're just so well laid out. You can walk along the terraces and see, well, different times of year. You see different things.
Yeah.
Steinpfade.
Yeah, Steinpfade.
Stein is stone.
Yeah.
And Pfade is paths.
Yeah. Well, Pfad is one path, and then therefore Pfade is the plural. Yeah.
Okay, and phrase 9, Hecken.
Yeah, Hecken.
Ich weiß nicht.
Hedges.
Hedges.
And they got loads of them.
All right. And phrase 10, Seerosenteiche.
Teiche. Seerosenteiche.
Missed the I out. Seerosenteiche. No, you're going to have to give me that one.
Right. See is a lake. Yeah. Rose is a rose. So it's some flowers that live in the waters, and Teich is a pond.
Okay, so it's roses that live in the water.
Well, it's ponds with some water plants. We call them lily ponds.
Very good. Well done. You got that right. That's good.
Yeah, I apparently my English isn't bad.
Right. And phrase 11, Moorgärten.
Moorgärten.
Garten, yeah, because the A's got an umlaut.
Yeah.
Okay. Garten is gardens.
Yeah.
And Moor. Was ist Moor?
Well, if you look it up in the dictionary, you either find moor or moors, but moor gardens we don't have, but we do have bog gardens.
Okay, that's good. And bog gardens is translation you said, and I'm just going to stop something now. Oh, I haven't started it. It's okay. Everything's working. Right, and phrase 12 is und Obstgärten.
Yeah, und Obstgärten.
And again, you're going to have to give me that one, because can you describe an Obstgärten?
Well, Gärten again is gardens, and Obst is fruit. But actually, they're just orchard gardens. Because they have all those fruit trees. They've got the apple trees and pears and not sure what else they've got there. Quite a few.
Okay, and the last phrase, phrase 13. Wird oft der geheime Garten genannt.
Ja, wird oft der geheime Garten genannt.
Which was nearly the title of this episode.
It nearly was, yes. But I've noticed on the National Trust website, they don't use that term anymore.
Oh,
So maybe they've decided not to, but people, I think, are still talking about it. So I've put it in.
well, it's because it's the last thing. It's the last thing you expect to see. Because it's surrounded by bungalows and houses and pathways, and you don't expect until you actually go to the entrance and walk up to the house. On the left-hand side, you've got all this beautiful garden.
But I think also it's the lack of the car park, which isn't right next to it. And there is parking facilities, but it is not a National Trust car park, which is right next to the property. So
Right.
it is really tucked away, a bit like this show today.
Indeed. Well, we don't know yet, but if you are watching, thank you. Wird oft der geheime Garten genannt.
Yeah.
So it is often.
Yeah.
Garten is gardener, which is good. Geheime.
Well, the adjective is geheim. The E is there because it's in front of garden. And geheim in this case means?
Secret.
Secret, yeah.
It is often called the secret garden.
Exactly.
But now the secret is out. Can you explain why? What's going to happen next?
Are you going to show the video?
I'm going to show the video.
Yeah.
Shall I show the video?
We went there a few weeks ago, didn't we?
We did. And I'm going to.
I feel when I put it together, it felt like as if I've done about 1,000 different recordings, all small snippets. And while you play that, I'll read the text out again, and I can read it out in German and in English. There's plenty of time.
Okay, let's go. I'm going to go and I'm going to start the video, and the video is starting now.
Okay. Der Kurzgarten ist ein englischer Landschaftsgarten in Holt. Holt liegt in der Nähe von Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire, England. Seit 1943 gehört der Garten zum National Trust. Es gibt ein Haus aus dem 18. Jahrhundert, das Privateigentum ist. Aber es hat eine kleine Teestube. Im Garten gibt es Terrassen, Steinpfade, Hecken, Seerosenteiche, Moorgärten und Obstgärten. Er wird oft der geheime Garten genannt. So the Courts Garden is an English country garden in Holt. Holt is near Bradford on Avon in Wiltshire, England. Since 1943, the garden belongs to the National Trust. There is an 18th century house which is private property, but it has a little tea room. In the garden, there are terraces, stone paths, hedges, lily ponds, bog gardens, and orchard gardens. And it's often called the secret garden. And there's actually a little bit of the orchard garden and the vegetable garden behind there. Of course, when we went there, there wasn't much there. It's all empty beds.
No, it was in spring, but it was a sunny day in spring. I remember the sunny days we had.
We haven't had too many yet.
It's a bit grey out there at the moment, but I love the effect here, because when this is in full bloom, this walkway is totally covered over.
Yes, we try to get there sort of 2 or 3 times a year, because then you really can see the difference in the seasons, can't you?
You can, and it's a mixture of wild garden and formal garden.
Yeah.
And you can walk around at your leisure, and there's always something interesting to find. They're always doing little things, and you find little nooks and crannies you've not seen before, new paths. And as you can see, people just come here to actually enjoy the day. People come here to picnic and just walk around and just enjoy the garden. It is walled on all sides, so the only way you can get into the garden is the entrance you saw at the beginning of this video. But it caters not only for adults, but for children as well.
There is something there for everybody. And I noticed again, as I put the video together, when we were there, we noticed how many people were there. But it does spread out, and there aren't many people to see on the video. It almost looks like as if it was just us with the odd 1 or 2 people.
Right, now if you
there
turn
were
left,
actually quite a few.
Yeah, that's the photograph I took. I have a photograph of that section. This is just beautiful.
It is.
It was on my profile.
it's always really nice to go there. And one of the ornaments, every so often they do have exhibitions of
Artworks.
artwork that I don't think they're local artists, or not necessarily local artists,
No.
but every year they seem to have something different there.
Indeed. And you've got the balance of water flowing through the length of the garden, and the natural and then the cultivated areas. And on a beautiful sunny day, which this was, it's a pleasure just to walk around and go for a coffee and cake afterwards. Kaffee und Kuchen.
Kuchen, yeah.
Ja. Jeden Tag Kaffee und Kuchen. Yeah. I wish our lawn was like that. It's getting there though. It's a lot better this year.
I wish I had a garden like that.
Oh, but it's big.
Go for a walk. Well, with the gardeners, of course.
They must have a team of gardeners looking after all that.
They do.
Yeah.
They do have. They have head gardeners, and then they have everybody working for them.
That's it. One of the buildings is shows you the history of the garden since the beginning and who's been employed there, and it sort of puts everything in context. And there's the house in the background. As we said, as Angelika said earlier, part of it is actually occupied, and it's maybe a secret garden, but it's not a secret house because everybody who goes to the gardens knows about it. Right, and
it's a very nice garden.
I'm going to stop sharing now in a second, and we'll leave you with the right, and you're back to the two of us. Thank you for watching. That was Kurt's garden in Holt in Wiltshire, and Angelika, the show is yours.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet what we're going to do next time, but the next one will be on the, let me check, on the 24th of May.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be another place in Wiltshire, but I haven't decided yet which one.
It's a mystery.
Yes.
We're going on a mystery tour. It depends. If we've got decent weather this weekend and next weekend, it could virtually be anywhere, couldn't it?
Well, after the secret garden comes the mystery tour.
Mystery tour. Right, we'd like to sign off.
Okay, well, thank you for watching, and it's tschüss von mir.
Best be together for this. Und tschüss von mir. Bis nächste Mal.
Tschüss.
Was that good? Tschüss.
Bis zum nächsten Mal, ja.